The studio of The View was buzzing. The audience murmured, the cameras rolled, and the bright lights reflected off the polished set. Oprah Winfrey, an icon known for her calm demeanor and decades of media influence, sat poised at the panel. Beside her, Joy Behar leaned back slightly in her chair, smirking ever so subtly as she prepared to speak. "Oprah," Joy started, her voice casual but cutting. "Don't you think sometimes that your influence overshadows the issues you're actually trying to address?" The words hung in the air. Oprah's eyes narrowed slightly. The audience picked up on the tension immediately. "I'm not sure I follow," Oprah replied, her tone measured but firm. "Can you clarify what you mean by overshadow?" Joy leaned forward, her smile sharp. "Well, you bring up issues on your show, but then you frame them in such a way that people only see your narrative, not the whole story. Don't you think that's a bit controlling?" The words stung. Oprah felt the weight of the insinuation in front of millions watching live. She kept her composure, a calm exterior masking the storm inside. "Joy," she said slowly, choosing her words with care, "I've spent decades trying to give voices to people who otherwise wouldn't have one. That's not control. That's responsibility." Joy smirked. "Responsibility or ego?" she shot back. The audience gasped. A few whispered to each other. The camera zoomed in on Oprah, capturing the flicker of frustration on her face. She could feel the energy in the room shifting. The live audience, sensing something monumental was about to unfold. "I understand you have opinions," Oprah began, voice steady but with an edge. "But framing it as ego undermines the very people whose stories I fight to bring to light." Joy laughed softly, shaking her head. "Come on, Oprah, we all know you love the spotlight." That was it. A spark ignited. The air crackled. Oprah's jaw tightened, her hand lightly tapping the table as the audience leaned in, sensing the collision of two media powerhouses. The cameras caught every micro-expression, every tension-laden pause. The stage was set for confrontation. Oprah leaned forward now, her voice rising just slightly above calm. "Joy, I've never claimed perfection, but I will not have my decades of work reduced to ego or theatrics." "You're dismissing real lives here," Joy shot back instantly. "And you think a few heartwarming stories change the systemic problems. That's naive." "Naive?" Oprah repeated, her tone now sharper. "I think people underestimate the power of media when it's used responsibly." The studio lights reflected off the tension. Everyone on set felt it. The audience sat on the edge of their seats, murmurs growing louder. The camera cut to Whoopi Goldberg trying to mediate. "Ladies, let's take a breath." Whoopi interjected, hands raised, but both women ignored her. Oprah's eyes glimmered with intensity. "No, Whoopi, this needs to be said. People need to understand that what I do isn't about me. It's about giving voice, giving access, giving hope. And if you reduce that to ego, you're missing the point entirely." Joy leaned back, smirking, not willing to concede. "Access? Oprah, let's be honest. People tune in because of you, not the stories." Oprah's calm broke for the first time in the broadcast. She took a deep breath, her voice now resonating with the weight of decades of passion. "I don't care what you think. Joy, I care about the people whose lives have been changed, because I gave them a platform. If that makes you uncomfortable, then that's your problem, not mine." The audience erupted into whispers and some applause. Social media feeds were already lighting up in real time. The clash wasn't just a debate, it was a public battle of ideologies. And Oprah wasn't backing down. Joy's next comment was meant to provoke, and it succeeded. "You act like every story you tell is heroic. Oprah, but sometimes it feels staged. Don't you ever get tired of pretending to care?" The comment hit hard. Oprah's patience snapped. She leaned forward, eyes flashing, voice now strong and unmistakably raw. "Enough, Joy, enough!" the audience gasped. A collective hush fell. The panel went silent. "You think this is about you mocking my work?" Oprah continued, each word deliberate. "This is about millions of people who've been given a voice, opportunities they didn't have before. You want to diminish that with your sarcasm? That's not commentary, that's cruelty." Tears welled in Oprah's eyes, not of sadness, but from pent-up frustration finally released. The live audience erupted into applause and murmurs of support. Cameras captured every angle, the fiery determination in her expression, the trembling of her hand as she gestured toward the studio. Joy, for the first time, looked slightly taken aback. She paused, realizing the magnitude of what she'd triggered. I didn't mean, she started, but Oprah interrupted. It's not about intent, Joy. It's about impact. Your words just now were dismissive of decades of work, of real lives, of real stories. That's what matters, not your comfort. The panel was frozen. Whoopi's hand was still raised, but no one could intervene. This was Oprah's moment, raw, unfiltered, and televised to millions worldwide. The tension was palpable. The cameras cut to the audience, some standing, some clapping, many mouths agape. Every frame screamed drama, confrontation, and authenticity. The broadcast ended moments later, but social media had already exploded. Clips of Oprah losing her composure but standing firm went viral. Memes, debates, and news articles erupted online. Headlines screamed, "Oprah wins the clash with Joy Behar." Iconic panel show moment. Backstage, Oprah sat quietly, catching her breath. She felt a mixture of exhaustion and relief. "That was intense," a producer whispered. Oprah nodded slowly. "I had to make them understand. Some things aren't just opinions. They're lives. That's why I can't stay silent." Joy, meanwhile, retreated to her dressing room, visibly shaken, reviewing the exchange. She realized that in challenging Oprah's decades-long influence, she had underestimated the depth of her passion and resolve. News outlets ran round-the-clock coverage. Fans flooded Oprah with messages of support. Critics praised her courage. The moment became an emblem of unapologetic advocacy, authenticity, and standing up for what matters. "Sometimes," Oprah said later in an interview, "you have to lose your calm to protect your purpose. And that's exactly what I did today." The view would never be the same. The studio, the audience, the world witnessed a media legend at her most human, most fierce, and most impactful. Final pause, dramatic fade out. Lesson: even icons have breaking points. But when passion meets principle, the world takes notice.